Hello, my name is Jasmine Janae Roberson, and this is a brief overview of my field experience as a life skills instructor at John Bartram High School. So, a little background about me. I am a graduate of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts at Howard University, where I studied acting and playwriting. I also worked a school fellowship at Arena Stage in Washington, D.C., before starting my full-time job at John Bartram High School on an emergency certification. So, this is my first full-time job. Pray for me, but it's going pretty well. I completed my field experience for this assignment with Mr. Greg Boyle. He is the general education art teacher for the school and has been teaching in the district for many, many years. So I learned a lot underneath him. So let's get into our agenda for today. So today we will discuss student population and classroom environment, review my field experience observations, and finally connect these observations to course content and share some of the strategies I learned for inclusive teaching. So first, let's get into the student population. So John Bartram High School is a neighborhood public school servicing students in the Southwest Philadelphia area. It's a public school, so it's a part of the Philadelphia School District. Most of these students come from low-income families, and we have a mix of both Black and Hispanic students in our population. Mr. Boyle typically has about 10 to 14 students in each of his classes throughout the day, which is on the larger side for an elective class at Bartram. As mentioned before, I completed my field experience during my students' prep period in art class. So my prep is during their prep. So I had to leave like halfway through my prep to be able to do the field experience and get a little taste for what it's like with them in their general education classroom. And I did learn a whole lot about them and about how to have some more inclusive practices in my classroom. So, all of my life skills students are diagnosed with intellectual disabilities, some of them with OHI, which stands for Other Health Impairment and Behavior Disorders, or BD. The life skills students attend art class every other morning with their general education peers also. And on the days they don't have art, they have gym. So let's get into the classroom environment. I like to call the art class environment the artistic oasis where students can work without pressure. A lot of times students feel overwhelmed by their academic classes, so being able to come to Mr. Boyle's class is often a very peaceful and relaxing way to start off their day. Mr. Boyle sets clear classroom expectations for a peaceful environment through his music choices and usage of small group tables. So each table has about two students each, giving them ample space to work on whatever they would like to work on using their individual art boxes, which I love the most. Everybody gets their own art box with whatever color pencils they like to use. If they like to build, it has all their building supplies, markers, crayons, whatever it is that student likes to use to express themselves in class. Mr. Boyle's classroom choices connect with Danielson's Framework 1 and 2 by planning multiple lesson options that can be easily accessed through class binders and making intentional choices to curate an inclusive and culturally responsive learning environment. So next we'll talk about some of his instructional practices. So some of the instructional practices Mr. Boyle uses includes differentiated instruction, which is instruction that is modified to fit the different needs and abilities of students. He also incorporates multi-sensory learning by utilizing smart boards, light boards to help students see the details of their art a little bit better, and those amazing binders that he's developed over the years and art boxes packed with the various art tools. So I love the binders the most because each binder has their own theme. It's like a Black History Month theme binder where there's a whole bunch of color printouts or different things that students can cut and make ideas for painting products, or they have a Valentine's Day binder or a Chinese New Year binder or school theme binder. all kinds of themes. They have graffiti, manga, anime, and the kids really love that also. So he also provides different choices for what the kids can work on as well, which I also enjoyed, the choice-based learning. So say if a group, okay, today you guys just gonna draw circles and squares, and they say, you know what? No, I think I want to draw some Boondocks characters. Then they'll just pull out, the comic or the anime or cartoon binder and they'll search through that for some Boondocks characters, or they'll use the smart board to take a paper and like put it on top of the smart board and trace the character out and just have the kid color it in. So it's many different methods of teaching and learning that's available in the classroom that I really enjoyed watching the kids engage with, and you can tell that this is something that they really look forward to every day. So next I'll discuss his classroom management techniques. So Mr. Boyle's classroom management techniques follow three concepts we have learned through this intro to special education class, and that's restorative justice, structured routines, and positive reinforcement. Restorative justice focus on getting to know the student, their likes and dislikes, and learning how to bridge the gap between their goals and the boundaries that must be set for the classroom. It focuses on positive intervention to build accountability and purpose. Structure routines are also key for students with and without disabilities. They enjoy being able to predict what will happen through their normal school day and having something to consistently look forward to. Lastly, we have positive reinforcement. This is crucial when working with students with special needs. Praise and positivity builds self-esteem, confidence, and collective responsibility to encourage and push each other towards success. So next we'll get into some of the lessons and activities that they did. So Mr. Boyle mentioned having set projects that may change every 2 weeks or so as they are completed in class. Each small group has a different craft assignment that fits their common interests and abilities. So while one group might be working on coloring, another group will be working on sculpting and building, like Kareem and Alex. These are two of my students who work at their own small group table, and so they build all kinds of things. I've seen Alex come into my class from art class with a baseball bat that he made, or Kareem will come with like a battle axe that he made that's like based off of Fortnite or something. Or just recently, Kareem made a bench swing out of popsicle sticks, and he used a piece of yarn to connect to the bench, and it actually swings. It's like a desk prop that he gave to one of my teaching assistants. So each kid has something that they do, like whatever art craft they do is not only differentiated to fit their learning abilities and what they can independently do on their own, but it's also based on their interests, like what they're genuinely interested in and things that they're willing to spend hours doing, which I really appreciated. And it also made me wonder about how I could incorporate more of these creative activities into my classroom, like if we're doing math. How I can use art to do math. Maybe it's like the number coloring pages, or even like performing arts, because my background is in acting, how I can incorporate more drama into my class, not just into social skills, but into the subjects that the kids really struggle with and don't really enjoy, like math or reading for some of the other kids. And I also saw how some kids started to open up a lot. Like Paige, usually when I try to teach her in class, she's very hesitant to participate. But in art class, she's full of joy. She's dancing. She's participating in everything. So I'm like, okay, Mr. Boyle, I need to take a page from your book and maybe it'll show some changes in my class. So this is just a quote from Mr. Boyle that I really enjoyed. I'm not going to read it, but it just talks about what he wishes people understood more about teaching general education students and students with special needs. So lastly, we'll get into conclusion and reflection. So, key takeaways. I realized that creative strategies not only improve student engagement, but it also help with their emotional regulation. I have a student who got into a few fights this week. Sometimes you come to class, you don't know what kind of energy he's going to come in with. But whenever he's in art class, this kid is so calm. He's very focused on working on his arts and crafts. Like earlier today, he was just on splashing the paint on the paper, drawing whatever shapes he wanted to do, and he was quiet about it. And he had the Mr. Boyle has the lo-fi study beats in the background too, so that also helps set the tone of like calm energy. I also realized that a great rule of thumb just for teaching and period is to always put student engagement first, making sure that it's fun, especially when teaching students with special needs. And that also applies with general education students too. We don't want them to feel bored in class either. And also, it just makes me wonder how I can continue to create an atmosphere where students feel safe to express themselves and to also address their social, emotional, along with their academic learning needs. So a few things that I will implement, choice-based learning. I love that a lot. How he had each table doing something different and they could choose whatever it was they want to do. I think I might do that with the worksheets or whatever the practical activity or assignment that students will do after I finish a lecture or something like that, giving them different choices on what kind of work they can do to kind of practice their skills, multisensory activities, maybe using Play-Doh to like help them to learn the alphabet, like molding out Play-Doh and things like that, or, just finding different ways for them to express their learning. Maybe instead of writing a journal prompt, I have a student who isn't that great at writing, but she is a great artist. So maybe drawing out her answer instead of writing out and continuing to use restorative practices and building those close relationship with my students. So final thoughts. If you guys want to respond to this post, you can answer this question. How would you incorporate creativity into your inclusive classroom? And that's all I have for today. Thank you very much. Have a blessed